So, dann schleichen wir uns mal ein, würde ich sagen. Moin Leute, und herzlich willkommen.
I understand the situation more or less. Either way, I suppose we were lucky not to receive a warm welcome on the way over here.
Yeah. Guess.
Since you two can enter,
Oh? And.
you'll know when the time comes. See you later.
Still acting all mysterious. But he seemed pretty confident. Hello?
Aber wir schaffen es echt
You're
nicht,
the special assistants for this investigation.
nicht verdächtig zu sein. Das ist doch scheiße.
Well, you're just in time. We're basically done investigating the crime scene. If there's anything else you'd like to look into, sadly, no. The motive, but considering that Nefer from the Curatorium of Secrets came forward to help investigate, I have.
We'll do our part too. Alright, we're going in. See you later. Phew, we're in. Thanks to Nefer's reputation. But we still know nothing about how Flint's is gonna enter. Or how we'll pick him up. Something the
Bestimmt
matter?
durchs Fenster oder so.
Huh. That looks like Flint's lantern. But where is he exactly? Well, we've got the lantern. What now? Oh, Paimon almost screamed out loud.
This lantern may have a rather peculiar shape, but so long as it doesn't glow, it won't stand out in the dark. I calculated that you would have already entered, so I chose a spot visible from the... as I thought. You're both sharp-eyed and...
The perks of being veteran adventurers, huh?
Your composure is more impressive still. You're right, but let us leave such trivial topics for a more relaxed moment. Just as I thought. Come. Identical powers must flow from the same source. It was the Wilde Hunt, then, that took my form and killed the Sergeant Major. But why do this?
To sow chaos by depriving the Lightkeepers of one of their commanders?
If the Wilde Hunt's true form is powerful enough to stand against the world as you claim, I fear not even the full force of Lightkeepers could stand against him. He would have no reason whatsoever to pick quarrels with individual. Let's look again more closely. Well, that makes things simpler. In that case, allow me to disturb. When we fought, he seemed like quite a reckless foe. Certainly not the meticulous mastermind type.
Oh, if we can't
Ist
get
das
any
jetzt
leads,
gut?
we might have to go back and find Nefer. Oh, the longer we're stuck here, the likelier he is to achieve his goal. Ugh!
Was ist überhaupt sein Ziel? Genau, das ist die Frage.
You mean this?
I'm not well versed in machinery, but that means his mechanical arm is malfunctioning, right?
No, that's not right. Paimon remembers this signal. We saw it before while repairing the cannon. It doesn't mean that the components are damaged. It just means that they're due for regular maintenance, so the device has stopped operating. But the real problem is that... Yeah, he even helped us find the maintenance port. It could still be a coincidence, but Consider
The Soci you met could have been Rerir in disguise. In other words, he played the Sergeant Major before disguising himself as me.
that's right. If only there were some way to prove it.
You mean Hintsa?
Ja, weil damit würden wir ja nur ihn freikaufen.
It's so late.
Ist halt die
I
Frage,
know
ob
where
das
he
helfen
lives.
würde.
The situation is critical, so let us now take up the role of uninvited guests ourselves.
Problem ist, dass er sich ja dann technisch
yes.
gesehen in alle
Remember
verwandelt.
to pick me up by the window.
Sehr viel Aura, ne? Das ist schon crazy. Muss ich schon ehrlich sagen, dass das alles crazy ist. Crazy? Ei, was crazy wants? Se lockt mir into Arum, Arabarum, wer verrät? Der redet mit mir crazy.
Let the record show that I verbally consent to relinquishing the...
So, wo müssen wir denn jetzt rein?
Oh, it's you two. And Flint's. Given the hour, I guess it must be an emergency.
It is indeed. We are investigating a certain matter in connection with Sergeant Major Soci.
Soci. Oh. You know what? Forget it. I'm sure it's complicated. No further questions from me.
Thank you for your understanding.
Tut mir trotzdem leid, auch wenn er nur fake war.
Got it. 8 days ago, he came to request a round of regular maintenance. But as it happened, I had run out of the required components. His mechanical arm is especially sophisticated, having been designed by Aino personally. The parts, too, could only be made by her. As such, they usually take several days to arrive. In fact, this time, he even asked me if we could push his request forward. And I understood. Completely. Not being able to use your hand, that's rough for anyone. But even more so if your job involves fighting out in the wild. So I did my best to convince Aino to rush the job. And eventually, the parts arrived. 3 days ago, if I remember correctly. I sent word to the Lightkeepers immediately. What's with those faces? Everything all right?
Ja.
You've provided us with some very crucial information, Hintsa. You have our thanks. We can't make everything public yet, but once our investigation is complete, I will return to thank you and provide an explanation on behalf of all the Lightkeepers.
No worries. Just glad I could help.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night. Hope the
It seems that it is as we guessed. The Sergeant Major Soci you encountered while repairing the cannon 8 days ago, he had yet to act. But at some point after that, he attacked and imprisoned the Sergeant Major. With the immense gap in strength between them, the job was finished in a single blow. And perhaps his mastery of shapeshifting extends only to outward form, and not therefore to complex internal mechanisms.
You're saying he thought no one would realize his mechanical arm is actually made of some kind of black muck on the Still seems like there's a lot of guesswork involved here, but it mostly makes sense.
This also has me stumped for the moment. But how would that help assuming he plans to collect the fragments within Wild Hunt
Hätte sie
anomalies?
irgendwie sabotiert oder
So
so?
we solved one mystery, only to dig up another.
Also wäre jetzt zumindest mein Gedanke.
Whew. This is getting Paimon kind of down. And sleepy too.
Yes, I'd say it is high time we took a break. Seems like there's a lot left to investigate. We'll have to fight Rerir eventually. And we'll do a poor job if we're not well rested.
Yeah, we should totally get some sleep first.
A reasonable suggestion. I have no doubt that my colleagues have never failed to live up to my expectations of...
Well, guess we'll just have to pick you up as usual.
That would be good, yes.
Phew, back inside.
I suppose we could all take a moment to unwind. As I recall, our first meeting took place not far from here. Had you already sensed the unique power within my lantern at that time? I see. Words truly do fail to capture your Fortunate then that abyssal energy was only leaking from the fragment in minuscule amounts when we first met.
Yeah, hard to say how that would have played out. We've had a whole bunch of unpleasant run-ins with the Abyss.
You mean to ask why I'm going this far to oppose him?
Yeah! You're covered in
Gibt schon
more
irgendwie
mysteries than
Sinn.
Paimon could
All right. Your deductions have been quite correct. Should one, you know humans well. But some things that humans would consider difficult are quite...
So, you mean...
Have you heard of how Snezhnaya was once the realm of the Fae? This race is no longer of any importance. But they still exist.
We've heard some scattered legends, but that's all Paimon...
I once turned my heart toward humanity. And thus did I experience loss. I once labored and did much, and put it when you realize you are floating in the middle of a vast ocean.
Aha, ist also eine Fee. Das ist
Would
ja
it
auch
not be
spannend.
better then to simply sink? But before I could sink to truly lightless depths, chance had it that I should be awakened by a band of Ratniki. They were facing a horde of abyssal monsters, and could not let those who dwell in darkness for long enough become exceedingly sensitive to all light.
Is that why you chose to help?
Perhaps I was moved by their valor. Perhaps I simply... But I was freshly awoken, and my powers were lit. The survivors and I buried the fallen heroes. That was the origin of the Final Night Cemetery. Well, not exactly. I was just more familiar with it.
Doesn't sound too
Well, I believe it. Besides, I'm nonetheless. There are still some things I will not allow to happen. Tomorrow I shall go and check our records to see if I can find any connection between the Wild Hunt, Rereer, and the...
Will you need us to get you where you...
Oh, I'll be fine. I keep a...
Can you even go back there right now?
Thanks for the reminder. I believe they'll have checked my place, but they won't have stayed. All things are ranked according to their priority, and we lack... And even if someone is waiting, I have ways around that.
All right then, we'll trust you.
Dann ab
Anyway,
ins
I hope you'll help
Beet.
me keep this a secret.
Paimon's lips are sealed too.
All right.
Finally, we can rest.
Ist ja nicht das erste Mal, dass wir
Let's go get
sowas
some
machen.
sleep. There's tons to do tomorrow.
Ist lange her, dass wir das letzte Mal geschlafen haben. Machen wir jetzt wieder einen Nachtspaziergang?
So much noise. What's going on this time?
Ist es morgen einfach?
Hey! Where's Flint's?
We would be most obliged if you would pipe down a little, dear guest.
Resting? We're all about to be done for, and you're talking about... Flint's is a wild hunt shapeshifter, here to deceive...
You'd better give him up. If anything happens, your business here is...
Or are you in cahoots with him?
What happened? Did something... But we were so careful last night. How did anyone see us?
Das...
What do you mean? Ugh, this is so confusing! It's not like all the unusual stuff about him will make it... Okay,
Hey! Let us...
My apologies.
hold on! Con...
What in Tevat is the meaning of this racket?
Are you intent on depriving Boss, do we really have to entertain people who don't respect the rules? Call a few of your boys and have them
And what hole did you crawl out of?
a watering hole, of course. The one you've just disturbed. A place to get a moment's who'd have guessed people like you would come burst.
This is a matter of utmost importance. We've got solid evidence. All we need— Exactly. And you sure don't—
Oh, don't I now? How about this then, boss? Let them do their search. But if they don't, then they owe everyone here an apology. As well as compensation for all the
Wait! It's...
Alright, alright. I suppose that's the only way.
Oh, alright then.
Well, I'd say that sounds like an
Come on!
No sign of Flint.
But how can that be? Hasn't he always stayed here?
Done searching, are we? Guess it's time to uphold your end of the bargain, huh?
Hat sie den jetzt verkloppt? Ich nehme einfach mal an, die Antwort ist ja.
So, Paimon, you've been waiting to ask me something, haven't you?
Paimon?
Yeah, how did they even find us here?
My inside man with the Lightkeepers informed me that you paid the crime scene a late-night visit. I surmise that you must have run. Then, early this morning, a group of people gathered at the town gates, news spreading amongst them that the Wild Hunt could disguise itself by taking on familiar faces. Everyone started throwing out the names of possible suspects, and amidst it all, Flint's name started gaining more and more traction. I'm sure his solitary lifestyle.
So, did Flint's make his escape after hearing about this?
And that's where Yehoda, while everyone was super focused on the—
I got her to climb up to a window to help Flint's out, only for her to return with nothing but—
Aw, come on.
We initially intended to bring Flint's back to the curatorium and wait those people out, but I imagine, though, that he wouldn't have left something that was—
Might he intend to come back and get it late?
Well, he's at a...
Oh?
What Paimon means to say is...
All right, then. Let's have this discussion.
Mal sehen, ob er sich jetzt zeigt, weil an sich ist er ja in der Laterne drin. Ne? Was soll man sagen? Ist er halt, ne? Easy. Kriegen wir die Laterne irgendwie?
I see. So Flint's has a fragment taken...
Is he gonna be okay now that he's on his own again?
Earlier, he said that the fragment had gone still, so...
In that case, Rerir shouldn't have any
If I were him, a reasonable course of action. Remember what we heard back at the tavern? The actual... Some of these must have been Rerir's doing. He must have been...
This much is pretty easy to understand, but...
Maybe 'cause that'd be more efficient.
Yeah! I'm confident that the ammo we're packing has the oomph to do that. Oh, why don't we find a few of those fragments ourselves and use Kuvaki to carry out a little experiment?
Oh shit. Help, ich habe Bock mit
Our lab
Mist
could certainly
verzapft.
accommodate such a test.
In other words, we gotta destroy a couple of anomalies and collect fragments from them, right?
Lightkeeper operations have just about. Meanwhile, the wild hunt continues to grow in scale by the day. I fear only we can keep the situation under control now.
Kommt der jetzt raus? Oder nicht, ist die Frage. Weil wäre ja crazy, wenn das so wäre, nicht wahr? Oder zumindest normal.
Then we best act fast.
A feeling we all
There are 3 wild hunt sites that must.
Works for me. Enough and I will.
The curatorium will handle.
And we, Frostmoon Sire.
Was mit mir?
Paimon didn't think she'd ever get to see everyone.
Never mind you. This.
Let's head out then. We'll meet back up at my lab with the fragments.
Understood.
Time is of the essence now.
Gotcha.
Huh.
Natlan ist weg.
Anyone seen the lantern?
Well, considering what you said earlier, you know where we're going next, right?
Ich würde sagen, wir gehen da jetzt einfach noch hin. In der Folge ist jetzt nicht so viel krankes Zeug passiert, dass ich die Folge jetzt beenden schon muss. Deswegen, ja, gucken wir einfach mal, ja. Jetzt sehe ich, dass wir dahin erstmal reisen müssen. Ja gut, das will ich dann doch zwischen der Folge machen. Ist jetzt halt doof, ne? Kein Thumbnail für die Folge. Ja, was machen wir denn an der Stelle? Help. Anyways, dann war's das mit der Folge. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao, ciao.